Not that
We're
finger.
live. We are live.
Oh, we're live already. Wow, it snuck up on me so quickly. Holy, I think we got Andrea and Malpal in the room already, so I'm excited. This is off to a great start, man. October 5th, also known as Alex Bregman Day. And why is that, Paulie?
He hits bombs on October 5th.
Paulie just told me before the show started that every October 5th, Alex Bregman hits a bomb. So, there's an Astro game tonight, right? Is it tonight, American League?
It's on right now, right behind me.
It's on right now, yeah. Yeah. All right. Oh, see, I can't see it so far away.
Sorry. Yeah, he went deep already, and
oh, he did.
They're up. Yeah, he did.
That's awesome.
And they're up 8-5.
Wow, man, the Astros are about to shock the world. But you know who's not shocked? Everybody listen to the Fantasy Fam today on October 5th, knowing that Paulie Boy and Uncle Bob are going to be here. So excited to be here again on the Lenny Melnick Fantasy Sports Network with my boy Paulie Boy.
Yes, sir. Happy to be here.
Just so you guys know, Paulie Boy's going to hate me for saying this, but this is called the Puke and Rally Show. Because Paulie Boy wasn't feeling so good today. But you know what? Like a man, Paulie said, you know what? I'm going to hike it up and I'm going to do the show. I love that you're here. We're going to get after it. We're going to have a great show. And what are we going to talk about today, Paulie? I think we're going to touch on a little bit of round 2 playoffs, right?
Yep.
We got to talk about the playoffs. I do want to talk about fantasy rankings. I feel like next year for 2021, there might be a little bit of a shift in fantasy rankings from a player standpoint. So I want to talk about that a little bit. Obviously, we're going to have our trivia. We got to talk a little bit about Bob Gibson. We lost another great one this week.
Yep.
It's been a tough year for the Immortals. We lost Seaver. We lost Brock. I think we lost a guy earlier in the year too. Who's the Detroit Tiger? Was it Al Kaline that passed away this year?
I'm not sure. He did pass away recently.
Might have been Kaline. So this is like 4 superstar Hall of Famers in a very short period of time. So really a tough time all around. And then Paulie, I might even let you jump into some football. How do you feel about that?
I'm ready.
Oh, are you?
I'm ready to go. I mean, my team isn't looking that great right now, but I think I have a little bit of knowledge still. I could easily be 3-1 right now, but whatever.
So I'm assuming what, you're 2-2 or 1-3?
I don't know. We'll see what happens tonight. I got a couple guys going tonight, so maybe I could pull it out. Who knows?
Well, Durf is in the mix and said that the cheaters are winning. But if the cheaters are winning and they're no longer cheating, what does that deductive reasoning tell you, Paulie? Like, maybe they're just good.
I think we know. I think we knew that at least Bregman was a very good player. I mean, this is a guy who was drafted, 2nd overall out of LSU and all that. I mean, I think we know that coming up, he was a stud, even if he had some help and everything like that, which wasn't right. But, George Springer, another top pick. Correa was a number 1 pick. These are guys who were still drafted very high. So, I mean, it's not like they all came out of nowhere like Altuve.
Bro, they're all great players. Let's be honest. They're all great players.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Hopefully, I mean, this New York Met fan wants to see George Springer in the blue and orange next year. So I'm hoping he takes his talents back up to the Northeast where he's from. But the Astros are going to be fun, and we're going to talk about them in a little bit. But before we jump into it, Paulie, I just want to let you know I was in Nashville this weekend. I was in Nashville for a wedding, my good friend Chris DeRico's wedding. Malpal, I don't know why you can't see us on here. We'd have to ask Andrew. Andrew, you have any idea about that? That seems like technical difficulties beyond me. But anyway, while I was in Nashville, Paulie, I got to be honest with you. I probably took about 17 Ubers, right? From place to place to place to place.
It's a lot of Ubers.
Lots of Ubers. And, we're in the mix, Malpal. Great. And I think every driver I engage, I talk to them about, baseball in Nashville. And I know there's a minor league squad over there, but I got to tell you, Paulie, they are pretty confident that baseball is going to come to Nashville in the next 5 years. Supposedly they have identified land. They have an identified ownership group led by Justin Timberlake. Okay.
He's a big Memphis guy. He's a big big Grizzlies fan. I think he's part owner of the Grizzlies or something.
Big Tennessee guy. Yeah. So supposedly, I know Manfred wants to expand the league by 2 teams in the next 5 years. So supposedly Nashville is going to be, in the mix for that, which is going to be interesting because they're only like, I'm curious if they're going to have the market to support it. The last thing Major League Baseball wants is another Tampa Bay where they can't support it, but we'll see. By the way, Nashville is a beautiful, beautiful town. I got to ask you, does Miss Erica like country music? Does your girlfriend like country music?
She's been there. My girlfriend has been there before, and she loved it. She loved it when she went. She tells me all the time how much she loved it.
So the fact that she's been there and hasn't brought you there, you know what that means?
She had a little too much fun, maybe. She had a little too much fun.
She don't want you in Nashville, Paulie, and I get it.
That's all right. But
Malpal Dombrowski, you're right. One of my Uber drivers mentioned Dombrowski and said, he might be the guy down there. Really, really interesting. So, hey, Andrea, what's going on? And I want to let you know, Paulie, on the flight back and forth, I read. Now it's an older book now, but I read this memoir right here. Look at this. Lenny Dykstra, House of Nails.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I'm not quite through it. I'm more than halfway through it. But interesting read. Lenny Dykstra went through it a little bit, man. He definitely went through it. So
I've heard.
Really interesting book. I got about another 80 pages to go, but I'll let you know how it goes when I'm done with it.
All right. Yeah.
Lenny D. All right, Paul. So playoffs. So we got what? The A's and the Astros going right now. What's the score? What did you say? 8-5?
Yes, it was 8-5.
8-5. I know. Was
8-5 bottom 8?
And obviously, I just got in from Nashville, so I haven't been watching the game, unfortunately. But I believe it was it McCullers versus Bassett?
I think so.
Bassett? I think that was.
Yeah, I know Bassett definitely pitched. I didn't catch the beginning of the game, so it might have been McCullers. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was McCullers. He got hit around a little bit.
Yeah, McCullers.
4 innings, 4 earned.
McCullers has been very hit and miss. If you're looking at the box now, I know you said Bregman got a big knock, but who else? Oh, Astros got 4 unearned runs. Lots of errors in the field. No bueno.
Yeah. Correa's bombs. Altuve's also got 2 ribbies. We got 3 different home runs from the A's. There's a lot of home runs happening, but Chris Davis, Matt Olson, Sean Murphy all have home runs also. Marcus Semien made a big error in the field. I'm assuming that was probably it.
Malpal says Springer's 4 for 4.
Springer's 4 for 5. I'm saying, yeah.
4 for 5. Wow.
He's always been good in the playoffs, man. He's always been good in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think he's a top 10 home run playoff guy. I mean, I think a couple years ago he tied Lenny Dykstra for top 7 or something like that. So I remember seeing that. Obviously, the theme here is Lenny Dykstra. I'm a big Dykstra fan, so whenever they say something about him, I tune in. But I believe Springer has Dykstra. Yeah, you're right. He's a postseason hitter. So
yeah, he shows up.
I'm excited to see what he does. Plus, he's playing for a contract, and for some reason, teams sometimes, and Springer doesn't fall into this category, but oftentimes teams forget about what players do on the norm and just look at a postseason and get all excited and spend this big money. So I never understood that. A la Pablo Sandoval. I think Pablo Sandoval's best year, his best statistical categories up to that Giants year when he killed it, he had a 284 average with 18 home runs and 85 RBIs. and it turned into a $20 million a year contract with that bad body.
Yeah.
It was just unbelievable. Unbelievable. But
you hit it at the right time.
Yeah. Malpa, you're right. Springer is a playoff Hall of Famer. I mean, the guy is just savage. Hopefully, he'll be a Met next year. So, all right, A's Astros, Paulie. Who do you got in the series? I mean, right now it's almost an easy pick, but I mean, I would go Astros. I would go Astros anyway, especially because they're throwing McCullers game 1. If they escape with a win, to know they have Greinke lurking, and it's a best of 7 or a best of 5.
It's a best of 5.
It's a 5.
It's a normal ALDS.
Okay, this is a normal ALDS. Okay, so yeah, I mean, to know that Greinke's lurking, I mean, that's impressive. And you know what Framber showed last round too. I mean, to know that he can either come into the rotation or out of the bullpen and do what he did. I mean, Astros. Everybody wants to call them cheaters, and maybe there's some truth to that, but they can still play ball, Paulie. And don't underestimate.
They could really redeem themselves if they make a run here.
Don't underestimate Dusty. Dusty Baker, man. I'm telling you. Dusty Baker is a great manager.
Yeah.
I don't want to go off on the Mets on how they couldn't get Girardi, couldn't get a guy like Dusty Baker, couldn't get an established baseball guy. But yeah, this is what it proves, right? When you get an established baseball guy, they make established baseball moves. And, you know, it's the 10th player on the field, bro. It's the 10th player on the field. So, yeah, Dusty Baker. All right. So, are we in agreement? We're both saying the Astros, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're already up this game. Looks like they're going to win this one. Like you're saying, they got Greinke still to go. I'd be surprised if the A's did wind up pulling it out.
Yeah. Talk to me about Tampa and the Yankees. Like, that's this is going to be a great series. So, at least I'm hoping it's a great series. Who do you got in that series, and tell me why?
Yeah, I'm really excited for this series. I don't know if the Yankees have it, but you know, the Rays have been a pest to them all year. They always have something going on with the Rays. It seems like that's the new rivalry with the Yankees now, is the Yankees Rays. I'm still gonna lean with the Yankees. I think it comes down to it. Maybe, you know, like the back end of that bullpen. I think I would maybe lean towards them over the Rays, even though the Rays still have a good bullpen. Also, I don't know. I'm just going with them, and I think that the Yankees have the better lineup. I think that maybe Gleyber was starting to get hot. You know, Judge, Stanton, they're pretty much back to full health. And anytime that you have LeMahieu on the field, you have a chance to win. So I'm gonna go with the Yankees against the Rays. Right. I think they're gonna beat the Rays.
I'm obviously gonna go with the Rays. I'm gonna go with the Rays. I just like the 1-2 punch of Glasnow and Snell. I just think you know, I think it's now, as much as you can't not love Cole, but Cole, Tanaka, and then who they follow up after that? Happ. I mean, who else is throwing? Davey. I mean, who's throwing after game 2? You know? So I like the Rays pitching, like you said. Their bullpen is equally strong. I love Nick Anderson back there. I feel like everyone underestimates them. And I don't even know, as avid of a baseball fan as I am, I don't know if I can name every player at every position, right? So I don't even know. I can tell you straight up though, who's in either Revere or Haverhill, Massachusetts right now, and that's King Happ, who just chimed in. I don't know where you are. I don't know where you are with the accent, Happ, but it's got to be one of those places, right? You're either in Revere or Lawrence or Haverhill. I don't know if that's true, buddy, but that's just where the good money is. So I'm going with Tampa, man. I like Cash, and I like what they're doing there. I'm just there.
Yeah.
National League. National League. All right, Paulie. Atlanta, Miami. I know you like Miami, Paulie, but the Atlanta offense, you can't talk about Yankee offense. So I'm curious where you're going to go with this Atlanta offense. Go ahead, hit me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with Atlanta in the series. I don't know. I don't think the Marlins. They had a little magic against the Cubs. I told you this before. Hated the Cubs this year. I don't know how they even got into the playoffs. Don't know how they won that division, but they did, and then they got swept by the Marlins. I just don't think that the Braves are that type of team. I don't think that they're a joke. I think they're a very real team. Like you said, the offense is great. Their only question mark might be the starting pitching, which is kind of like the Yankees. They also don't have as good of a bullpen as the Yanks, but I could just not see the Marlins pulling this off and just keep going straight to the ALCS and so on. So I think it's going to be the Braves over the Marlins, and the Marlins are going to end that little streak that they got going on. Great season for them though.
See, bro, I'm gonna go the opposite way again, man. I think the Braves chokers, man. I think they've been chokers. I think, I know they've won divisions. They're really great. They're really great when the stakes are low. But when the playoffs come, man, I mean, save 1995, these guys just can't get it done. And I don't know what it is. They should have 3 championships under their belt as an organization over the last 25 years. They don't. But they don't. I mean, could they win and should they win? Sure. Their pitching to me is still a little suspect. I think Miami is just a little too upstart for them. And I just don't count them out. Donnie Mattingly knows what he's doing. He has these guys thinking, we got nothing to lose. And that's dangerous, Paulie. That's dangerous. Yeah. When you got nothing to lose, you're dangerous, right? Atlanta has expectations on them. Miami got no expectations on them. So I'm going with Miami for one more round. I don't think they're going to make it out of the NL. God.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be an easy series. I think it could definitely go 5 games. I don't know. I'm just going to lean with the Braves just because I don't know. I just don't think that it's going to keep happening for the Marlins. I know that they've seen Atlanta a bunch and vice versa, but I don't know. That would be a crazy story if they beat the Braves. I am pulling for them. I'm with Hap on this. It would be a great story for the Marlins. I'm pulling for them too. I'm definitely rooting for them. I just don't think it's going to happen for them.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, don't agree. I think Miami's going to do it. But, the big story here, Paulie, because we're going to talk about the Padres and the Dodgers. But Malpal just said LA versus Miami. Malpal's not even picking San Diego. Malpal. You're like the biggest Padre fan I know. And I like it that way. Why are you going against your boys? I don't get it.
I don't know. They almost blew that Cardinals series. So
yeah, I mean, but they did it, right? But they didn't.
No, they didn't. They didn't. You're right.
They didn't. So that says something, right? The fact that they didn't. They almost did, and they didn't.
They persevered.
The Shaman's going in on us, telling us I like the Mets. When are the Yankees playing the Mets and Cubs? I got it.
Probably not till 2021, Shaman.
I got it. Georgie's in the room. Oh, man. George Pulley, have you ever listened to a Sunday Night George show?
Have I ever? Of course.
Of course you have, right? I mean, George's show, Malpal, I think you'll happily take a silver medal. Because George's show, the acoustics come from the bathroom. They have to. And he just is fact after fact after fact over random player after random player after random player. The guy is just an encyclopedia coming from the bathroom. Yep. I mean, guy, just unbelievable. I love Georgie. The best.
He's full of knowledge, that one.
Best. Oh, Malpal said, I'll never bet with my heart. I wonder if this is a little bit of reverse psychology he's doing. Like, he's saying Dodgers, but he's like, I really want the Padres. So, I mean, the Dodgers are the smart money, Paulie. You and I are not big gamblers. So we both said Dodgers to win the whole thing, right? Like, we just, that is who we picked. But,
yeah, no, absolutely. Malpal makes a point, though. Texas Park gives up fewest home runs in baseball. Even though it's a pretty short sample, only the 60-game season that they had there, the Padres are over-reliant on home runs to score. I mean, that's a fair point. They did hit a lot of home runs. And if they don't wind up hitting home runs in Texas, who knows? Who knows? On top of them playing their biggest rival, it's going to be a great series, Dodgers versus Padres. But I'm still going to lean with the Dodgers on that. I do think they wind up winning that.
I heard I heard that Clevenger might be coming back though, Malpal. Let me know if you heard anything different. And is Dustin?
Same thing with Lamet. They're both hurt. They're both hurt. Not sure if they're coming back for the series or not.
But they might be, right? They might be. So
they're hoping so.
So listen, in the first 2 games, if they're able to split without using Lamet and Clevenger, and then to give them a couple more days to heal and get better, and then they have Lamet and Clevenger in games 3 or 4, right? 4 if necessary. Like that's an ace in the hole. That's an ace in the hole because, I mean, the Dodgers are going to throw who? They're going to throw Buehler and they're going to throw Kershaw. Then after that, is a bit of a drop off, right? Like who do they throw after that? Dustin May, Gonsolin. Who do they throw? So
but I mean, those aren't bad options.
They're not bad, but they're not bad. But I would take Lamet and Clevenger over those 2. So that's why. Who's the manager over there? What's his name? He's got a weird name. The Padres manager. Jace. That's it. If Jace plays his cards right and plays a little bit coy with Lamet and Clevenger and saves them for games 3 and 4 if needed, I mean that could sway. That could sway what's going on here, Paulie. So it'll be interesting.
But like Matt Powell's saying, he hasn't thrown a bullpen in 10 days. If he goes, he's lucky to get 3 innings. It's true. I mean, how many innings would you expect these guys to pitch, even if they did come back?
Hey, listen, 4 innings. 4 innings isn't bad. Padres have a good bullpen, right? Like get 4 innings out of Clevenger, get 4 innings out of Lamet, see what happens. All right. So, and Paulie, it's worth saying that last week when you and I talked about our 2 sleeper picks, you picked Cincinnati and I picked Milwaukee. Paulie, what happened? What happened to us, Paulie?
I don't know. I think my pick was actually worse because Cincinnati didn't even score a run in 2 games.
Awful. Horrendous.
Yeah, terrible.
Horrendous. Dick Trickle. I love Dick Trickle, Malpal. I don't even know what mock draft is going on right now. I didn't get invited. Paul, did you get invited to a mock draft? I didn't get invited to a mock draft.
No, I'm not sure what they're doing.
Anyway, let's talk a little bit about the 2021 season. So next year's fantasy draft, Paulie. I mean, the consensus first round pick across the board has been who?
Mike Trout.
Mike Trout, right? Without a doubt. Don't even have to think twice. Now this year, and I know it's a short season, but are you seeing some dents in the armor of Mike Trout? Obviously, he's still an elite ball player. I mean, he still had great numbers. What did he do this year? Trout this year, 17 home runs, 46 RBIs, nice, right? 281 average, nice, right? But is he still, with the competitive landscape with other players, is he still the number 1 pick in the draft? What's your thought? Did I lose you? Boy, did you freeze up on me? I don't know what happened there. All right, I think Paulie froze up on me, guys. So I'm just going to take this one. So the question was, is Mike Trout the first round pick next year? I personally, Paulie's frozen, Andrew. I got that. Hopefully he'll get back in a second. He jumped out. So here's the thing. I don't think Trout is a first rounder. I don't think he's the first round pick next year. I really don't. He had 1 stolen base. He had 1 stolen base this year. And obviously his stolen base totals have been kind of an indicator as to his fantasy draft position. But going with 1 this year, and he only had 11 last year. So those numbers it's a good average. I mean, his power numbers, obviously, I'm not gonna argue against. But I mean, the stolen bases, the batting average. Who do I draft over Trout? I mean, I don't want to sound like a broken record here or going cliche, but I think Soto is in the mix, even though he doesn't steal a lot of bases, but he just looks pretty sexy right now. Mookie Betts, Georgia, you're right. Mookie Betts is right there. Acuna right there. Tatis got a lot of I know he fell off a little bit later on, but Tatis had 11 stolen bases and is on the way up, where I feel like Trout has 11 stolen bases and is on the way down. So I'm just like, all right, is Trout starting to level off? He's still a first rounder, but I don't know if he's the first pick. I would go with Tatis, Acuna, and Mookie. They all deserve decent consideration over Mike Trout. Paulie, I know we lost you for a second, and I know that you are.
Sorry about that.
We're all good. We keep on rolling here, kid. So I know you are a pro Mike Trout first overall pick. Tell me why.
Yeah, I mean, has anybody really come out to take his spot yet at the top spot? I don't think so. I mean, you're gonna go with Acuna, probably not. Guy hit IL like 2 or 3 times in the season. I mean, when he's playing, he's probably one of the best, but he's a bit of a injury prone guy. The only guy who I can see taking over Trout is maybe Soto, but he's not going to get you the stolen bases. I know you said that Trout's declining in stolen bases and whatever, but I feel like that's by choice or by how Madden might be running the team or whatever. I just don't think that he's slowing down. I think he could really ramp up those stolen bases again if he wanted to. Soto's not going to get you those stolen bases probably. So
but Paul, you can't blame Madden. Trout only had 11 last year in a full season. I mean, 11.
Yeah, I think he could. I think in a normal season again, he could get 20 if he was fully healthy, playing a full 160 games or so. I wouldn't take Acuna over him. I would consider Soto and maybe Mookie, but I would probably still go Trout at number 1.
I mean, there's no wrong answer here, right? There's no wrong answer. I happen to put a lot of emphasis in today's game on stolen bases, just because I think it's that statistic that is just petering out. And when you get a couple of guys that are high level guys, that's why Billy Hamilton went for so much, a few years ago. I know he's garbage now, but like he would still get a $10 bid or go for a decent draft position. That's why Adalberto Mondesi, even though he did come on late, but 24 stolen bases, he's going to go for decent money. Trout, just his numbers are going down. I just think it puts a knock on him. But you wouldn't be wrong drafting him first. Mike, my other question is that he typically goes for about $50-$55 in an auction league. I don't know if he's going to go for that much. I see it looks like my boy Hap is with me. Matt Trout is declining a little bit. I mean, he's still what, Paulie, 29?
Yeah.
He's still in his prime years, just like Erica Ray in her prime years. Paulie, you better, do the right thing here. Erica is the bomb. And hopefully I'm going to see you guys on Saturday, right? That's the plan?
Yeah, definitely. Of course.
All right. Me and Aunt Crystal and Noah Jack are planning to come by and say hi.
That would be great.
A little bit.
Oh, Georgie said he's being called away to dinner. He said we're the best. No, George, you're the best, George.
Hey, Georgie, thanks for joining us. We love you. Have a good dinner. Have a good chicken cutlet parmesan and a side of vegetable medley. I'm sure that's what's on the menu today. So I love it.
Yeah.
Malpal
taking Acuna bets over him
in that order. All right. Listen, there's no really wrong answer here. I mean, Mookie had 10 stolen bases. Acuna had 8 stolen bases. Tatis had 11. So they're all up there. Just Trout's one was just like, it left more to be desired. If I was a Trout owner this year, I was a little disappointed. The power numbers are great. Can't argue with the power numbers, but just the SBs. Yeah.
That's the only thing. Trout has had his share of injuries for sure. But even in those injury-plagued seasons for him, he's done more than enough at that point to still have given you almost, a full season of one of those other guys that you're probably taking in front of him anyway, is my opinion.
Listen, no one's going to call your names but me, Paulie boy, if you draft them,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. All right. So it's trivia time. Not quite taco trivia, but Paulie boy problem solving. I don't know, Paulie. We got to do better than that. We got to do better than that, Paulie. We got to do better than that. We got to go to the old think tank and put something together. Yeah. We got to do something to rival taco trivia. Oh my gosh. We got to be
tough. That's going to be tough.
It really is. Anyway, all right. Ready, Paulie? since we talked about the Brewers making an early exit, this is a Brewer trivia question. You ready? Tough one.
Yep.
All
right.
Tough. Who was the last Brewer to win a Cy Young Award?
Ooh, I think I know it off the bat. Wait, I don't want to spoil it.
Who was the last Brewer to win a Cy Young Award? And actually, this question ties. No, it's not Rollie Fingers, Malpal. Great guess. This question ties by 3 degrees into something I talked about earlier. I told you that I'm currently Paulie Boy porn. We talked about that last week, I think. It's not Rollie Fingers. It's not Teddy Higuera. Really good guess, this guy.
If it's one of those old timers, then I was completely off.
Well, you might be off. You're definitely going to be off. It was definitely a little bit older, but I'm going to tell you how this ties into an earlier thing I said. I told you guys that I'm going to give you a big hint here. Ready? I was reading House of Nails by Lenny Dykstra, okay?
Mm-hmm.
There's a full chapter in this book called Charlie Sheen, all right? So Lenny Dykstra and Charlie Sheen, like, had this big episode of love with each other, right? Like, they really because they're both a little bit of
party animals.
Yeah, they're both party animals. I guess they kind of loved each other, went through some rehab together, all this stuff. But the way this ties in is Dykstra. I'm reading Lenny Dykstra. Lenny Dykstra is friends with Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen was in a movie called what, Paulie? One of the best baseball movie comedies of all time. What's it called?
Major League.
Major League, Paulie. In Major League, the big fearsome batter in Major League. Do you remember his name, Paulie? Come on, I'm putting it to you right now. Who is the bad guy in Major League One? What was his name? The big Yankee guy with the big goatee. What was his name in the movie?
Oh, I don't remember.
Clu Hayward.
Oh yeah, I would never got that.
Remember Clu Hayward?
Clu Hayward.
Yes. So Clu Hayward. Obviously, that's not his real name. That was his movie name. His real name is Pete Vukovich. Yes, Andrea. Yes, Malpal. And Pete Vukovich is the last guy to win a Cy Young Award for the Milwaukee Brewers. 1982, 18-6 with a 3.34 ERA, 105 Ks. 105 Ks, Paulie. That's it. In 223 innings pitched, he won the Cy Young in 82. So Pete Vukovich.
Oh, so he was an actual baseball player in the movie?
He was an actual baseball player. And if I remember correctly, Bob Uecker said, when this guy sneezes, he looks like a party favor. I think that was his main line about Pete Vukovich. So yes, good call, guys. Good call with Pete Vukovich. For any of you guys that are just jumping on right now to join us, just quick little update of what you missed. We talked a little bit about round 2 of the playoffs, a little bit of fantasy player realignment. Some maybe Trout's going to be dropping out of the top spot, and some other options that might be out of there. We had a little bit of trivia. If you missed any of it, go on demand or go onto the Lenny Melnick Fantasy Sports Network. All right, that's what we got here. Paulie, just while we were talking about the fantasy, while we were talking about Mike Trout and the offensive players, who do you think are like? And I know we didn't talk about this off air. Who right now are your top 5 fantasy starting pitchers? Who right now, after this year, are your top 5 fantasy starting pitchers? I mean, could we agree that Bieber, DeGrom, and Cole are in the top 3, right?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
so,
you have to.
So who rounds out that top 5? Who's the other 2?
I know that you're not going to give it to Bauer, but I mean, after the season that he had, he can be in the conversation. Who else? I mean, I wouldn't give it to somebody like you, Darvish. I don't think that was something that he's going to sustain or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's going to have another season like that next year, even though he had a great season. I'm trying to think here. Who else? I wouldn't be against Bauer.
Paulie, I'm going to ask you straight up. Malpal says Bauer, Kershaw. I know Andrea's going to love Bauer as well. Here's my question for you, Paulie. I know you're gonna love this. He's your boy now. Is Giolito in the top 5? Do you take Giolito over? Do you take Giolito over Kershaw or Bauer? Is Giolito in that? And even in the playoffs, what do you throw? 6 no-hit innings? I mean, the guy is good, and the White Sox have definitely greener pastures before them.
Yeah.
Is Giolito in that top 5 right now?
No, I don't think he is. Not yet, anyway. But he's just a little erratic, not completely consistent like some of these top 5 guys that we're talking about. Even if you included Bauer and Kershaw, he's just not Bauer and Kershaw level yet. As electric as he is, and he could go with 13 Ks and no hit a team, no problem, and whatever. I still think he's just a little too erratic. Hit with his whip and everything like that. His whips could be kind of high sometimes.
Yeah.
The control isn't always there with him, but he could easily be top 5 by next year, without a doubt, depending on how his season goes.
Andrea just brought up Zach Gallen. All right. Who do you think ends up having a better career, Giolito or Gallen?
A better career? I mean, Giolito already has the head start with the no hitter that he already threw.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna lean that way, and he's got some playoff experience now. Zach Gallen looks great, though. I'm not gonna lie, he does look great.
He really does.
He's almost like the opposite of Giolito, though, because he's not that flashy, overpowering pitcher. He's that guy who has that nasty stuff, who just drops off the table with his changeup and whatever. But he's really accurate. And he's not going to have 10, 15 strikeouts and no hit a team as easily as maybe Giolito could. But Gallen might just be like the kind of opposite of Gio.
Yeah. Malpal, I'm not on the Lamet trade yet. I need to see a little bit more. Same thing with Corbin Burns. I'm not on the train yet. Not for a top 5. Not for a top 5. I mean,
no.
I think Sixto's got the chance to be a top 5, but I wouldn't mention him in top 5. Right? Way too young.
Not yet. Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, but Max Fried, I feel like, is definitely in the conversation too to start to elevate. I'm not a big Fried guy, but Paulie, we're talking about Trevor Bauer. It seems like everybody's on the Trevor Bauer train, and I get it. Guy had a nasty year. I'm not a big fan, but I can't deny his talent, right?
Right.
And I know we've talked about him going to the Mets. I don't know if the Mets are a good fit, but my God, don't you think Artie Moreno and the Angels are going to throw every dollar they have at him? Don't you think, and shouldn't they, right? Like, they're getting so much criticism for not giving Trout a pitching staff. And now that Heaney looked okay this year, Bundy looks good. If you get an ace for that staff and put some bullpen in there, like, now you might have something to complement the Rendones and the Trout and what's his name? The pitcher hitter guy.
Oh, Ohtani,
like the offense is there, right? It's just a matter of getting the pitching. So don't you think they're gonna give him stupid money? Just the fact that the Angels were second in bidding on Garrett Cole, right?
Yep.
Don't you think? And if Bauer sticks to this 1 year thing that he wants to do, don't you think they will come to a point where they won't be beat? I mean, Artie Moreno has stupid money, and not that Cohen doesn't for the Mets, and not that they're going to be the only 2 teams bidding, right? But don't you think Artie Moreno is going to give the kitchen sink for him?
I would assume so, just because of the way that they lost that bid on Cole. And as long as the Yankees aren't bidding on Bauer, then I think that they definitely have a chance to get him. If they throw everything at him, I could easily see that. I don't see Stevie Cohen coming in the Mets and just throwing an absolute ton of money at just the pitcher just because or whatever. So I think that those expectations need to be tamed a bit, because Sandy Alderson is the one who's going to be running the show there, and he's not a guy who's just known for throwing money at people. So he's not going to get into a bidding war with the Angels just because Cohen has money. So, but if the Angels really want him, then they're going to go get him for sure, especially after not having that ace for the season.
I agree. Malpal, we're with you, buddy. Angels need to do it. I mean, even just to send a message to Trout that they care to do it.
That's a great fit for Bauer probably, but it seems like he's going to have a lot of offers, a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And Paul, I agree with you with Steve Cohen. That's why I think he should go with a couple of in his first year. I mentioned to you a couple of pillow contracts. Go with Corey Kluber. Go with Marcus Stroman. Let them reestablish their value on the Mets dime. Hopefully, we catch lightning in a bottle there. See what happens, and put them with DeGrom and Syndergaard and our boy Peterson, and just see what happens. But anyway, great conversation.
Malpal. Sandy Allison is supposed to be taking over as president of operations.
Yeah,
for the Mets once Cohen gets approval from the owners in November. So
yes. So Malpal, the rumor right now is the fact is once he's approved, like Paulie Boy said, Alderson will be in that role, and the rumor is that Brodie Van Wagenen is going to get dismissed, and they're going to go after Billy Owens of the Oakland A's. That's what they say, and you know how deep Sandy Alderson's talking about with the A's, so that makes sense. But we'll see what happens. Yep. All right, guys, great conversation. I do want to talk a little bit about Bob Gibson. Not so. I mean, a lot's been said about Bob Gibson over the last few days since he passed. I'm sad personally, selfishly, because there's been a couple of shows that autograph shows that were supposed to happen during this COVID time that he was going to be at, and I really wanted to meet him and get his John Hancock on a ball. I'm really sad that I'm not going to get that shot. I really love to shake hands of greatness. That's why I love shaking Paulie Boy's hands every time I see him. It's just like get around greatness all the time. But I was really sad to hear that he passed. But I also want to bring him up a little bit just to kind of bring my boy Paulie Boy here up to speed. Paulie, do you know how dominant this guy was? Do you know?
Yes, I do.
Do you?
I know what you're going to say. Yeah, about the mound. Yes, I know. He literally changed the game. I know.
Literally, right? I mean, just because he was so savage. And I mean, 1968, Paulie. 1968, he won the Cy Young and MVP. You know how hard that is, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what his numbers were in 68?
Tell me, please.
He was 22-9. Listen to this ERA. Just by comparison, before I go on, just by comparison, Verlander won the Cy Young and MVP in 2011 with a 2.40 ERA and a .92 WHIP. Okay, got it?
Yeah.
Pedro won the Cy Young Award and came in second in MVP in 1999 with a 2.07 ERA and a .78 WHIP. Got it? Got it. Bob Gibson in 1968, he had a .85 WHIP, right? So not as good as Pedro, but better than Verlander. But are you ready for this ERA, Paulie? Are you ready for this?
What is it?
1.12.
Wow. How many innings?
1.12, 304 innings.
Holy crap. That's crazy.
304 innings, a 1.12 ERA. 2-time Cy Young Award winner, 8-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champ in 64 and 67. Yeah, man. I mean, the guy was just filthy.
That's not even including postseason. I'm assuming they made the postseason that year.
You know, I don't know 68. I know in 67 they won it all. So I'm not sure about 68 Cardinals.
Yeah.
I know he had 268 innings and 268 Ks and 304 innings, which is not bad at all.
It's just different. If he pitched those amount of innings today, he would have had over 300 strikeouts.
Well,
back then strikeouts weren't as common, I feel like.
So case in point, those 2 years I just brought up, the Verlander and the Pedro, Verlander had a strikeout per inning. He had 250 innings and 251 innings pitched, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pedro only pitched 213 innings that year. Holy, 213. Mm-hmm. How many strikeouts did he have?
Like 270.
284.
Wow.
284, just an absolute savage. Oh, there you go, Matt Powell. Cardinals lost the 68 World Series in 7 games.
Right. So he probably threw another like almost 50 innings that postseason.
Yeah.
You know, just off the top of my head, I'm assuming so because he was probably throwing almost complete games.
Matt Powell's right. How do you lose 9 games with a 1.12 ERA? And Matt Powell, me and Paulie Boy don't know this to be true, but being Mets fans and fans of Jacob deGrom, who knows what his run support was, right? Like, I mean, you have to guess that those 9 losses were 1-0 games, 2-1 games, things like that, right? It was just a matter of run support. So again, Bob Gibson left us really sad, but just wanted to give a little bit of a shout out to him and his career. An iconic player. I mean, even to this day, to watch his stare at home plate. I know some guys that knew him just from autograph experiences and are bigger autograph dealers. They said he wasn't the nicest guy in the world and was always a competitor. Was really annoyed when they asked him for extra inscriptions, but they said he was always a gentleman. Always a gentleman. So again, Bob Gibson, another one gone too soon.
Wow.
All right, Paulie, we got a few minutes left. I don't want to keep people too long. I know there's a lot going on tonight. I know we got football tonight. We got baseball tonight. We got lots going on.
There's a lot.
We might even stop a little bit short. But I did say I was going to let you talk a little bit of football, Paulie. You know, Paulie told me before the show today, he said, Uncle Bob, listen. First thing he says, Uncle Bob, I don't know how much baseball's out there right now. I said, you don't know how much baseball. I said, there's always baseball to talk about. It's the playoffs. There's always I said, listen. He goes, I'm just in football mode, Uncle Bob. I'm in football mode. I said, all right.
I am.
Now we got to talk a little bit of football. I, for one, am not in one football league this year. Not in one. So Paulie is definitely more of the expert and more qualified to talk about it than this year. But I did ask him a question. Out of pure curiosity, and I feel like this is what we should end on, Paulie. I know that there were a lot of injuries. Early on, just because I would get the alert on my phone, you know, just basic interest. I know that. And you could probably fill in the blanks here. McCaffrey went down. Saquon went down. Who else?
Yep. Michael Thomas went down.
Yep.
Davante Adams has been hurt. Julio's been hurt. He's supposed to be back tonight, though.
I mean, you just named 5. You just named 5 first rounders. 5 first rounders that absolutely were off the grid right out of the gate, right?
Yeah.
So my question to Paulie, just pure curiosity, and Paulie's in a pretty competitive league, PPR, and I said, all right, we're a quarter way through the season. If there was a redraft league right now, right this second, there was a redraft league, what order would players go in? Which means we're taking McCaffrey off the table, Saquon off the table, Thomas off the table, Adams off the table, Julio off the table, right? These guys just aren't around because they have no value right now. Like, they might go just based on, you know, projection, and I don't know when they're coming back, but just based on how they've shown up so far and how they've produced, how would you map it out, Paulie boy? Who would be the first pick? Who would be the first? I know Christian McCaffrey was kind of the consensus number 1. Who would be the consensus number 1 right now?
Yeah, most likely Alvin Kamara, the running back with the Saints. He had like almost a 50-point week, like last week or the week before. With Michael Thomas being out, Drew Brees has relied on Kamara like more than anybody else. He's constantly dumping the ball off to him. Kamara just making plays. You know, he's also getting a ton of carries on top of it. So with Michael Thomas being out, they also have their tight end Jared Cook out. Kamara's getting all the work there for New Orleans. So he would be number 1 right now. You know, he hasn't been injured yet. So he would definitely be number 1.
And then number 2?
Number 2 would probably be Dalvin Cook with the Vikings. I'm gonna say that he's like right behind Kamara with the amount of work. He doesn't get as much work in the passing game, but he's a beast, man. He'll run for 180 yards on anybody any given day. He just looks awesome. He looks great.
So, Paul, let me ask you an off the cuff question. Dalvin Cook, what draft position typically would he go in the regular draft? Is he like a late first rounder, second rounder? Where was he going?
He was probably like a mid round first round pick. Probably like between anywhere from like 5 to 8. He probably went. Same thing with Kamara, really. Actually, Kamara went a little higher. Kamara went 4 in my draft. I think Cook went 6.
Okay.
So both of them were really going in that middle tier of the first round.
And then you had mentioned to me that Zeke maintained his number 3. You feel like he'd probably be around there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And then 4, and I know this guy was a big pickup of yours last year. I was surprised when you said his name in the number 4 spot, Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, has he been that? Tell me about him.
He's been extremely consistent. His lowest week that he's going to get you is like 15, 16, and that's usually with the touchdown. But this is a guy who can easily win you a week, putting up 2 or 3 touchdowns, going over 100 yards. He'll put up a 40, 50 spot in fantasy for you with no problem. He did it last year once or twice. He already did it once this year. So yeah, he's definitely a top 5 pick if we were to redraft.
Okay, and then number 5, I think you're going to go wideout. Who's your number 1 wideout this year?
Right now, probably DeAndre Hopkins. Everybody was a little shaky on him going to Arizona. Not really sure how that was going to work out, but he's been better with Arizona almost than he was with Houston last year to start the season. So he's only going to keep taking off from there. But he wasn't a consensus first round pick though this year. Some people got him in the second round.
Okay. So I'm going to take a break. I'm going to take a quick 30-second break just to ask you a question that just occurred to me, because I'm just so intrigued by this guy, and I'm curious because he killed me in every draft I've ever been in except for one. How's David Johnson doing this year?
Yeah, he had a good week 1. I don't think he's been as good since. He's like an RB2. If you could put him in your flex spot, that you're better off there. But I mean, I don't love him really. But he's a good guy to have on your team if you need the depth, or you probably will need him to start. So ideally, you would want to flex him and not have to put him in your RB spot. But he hasn't been that great. He's been okay.
All right. All right. And then so let's pick up. Let's bring this home quick. So number 6. Go ahead. Number 6.
Number 6. I forgot who did I tell you? Did I tell you?
Listen. You know exactly who you told me, because this is why you owe my boy Hap some beer. Don't play coy, Paulie boy. You know exactly who you told me. What's his name, Paulie? Say it.
Derrick Henry.
Bitter. So bitter on your lips just to say his name. You can't even say his name. Who'd I tell you? You know who you told me.
Oh, is that who I told you?
Derrick Henry. That's right. Mal Pal, you got a nice flagship coming to you soon, but don't hold your breath. Paulie boy's a little slow on the uptake. Number 7, I think you went a little bit into. You went with the one and only quarterback in the top 10, and I know that there's 2 quarterbacks top 10. But I know that Mahomes is not in the top 10, which I know he was in the top 10 in a lot of drafts. So you had who?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on your league, really, with QBs. I don't like taking QBs early, really. But, I mean, Russell Wilson has definitely been the best quarterback so far, probably the MVP of the league. He didn't have a great day yesterday. He kind of salvaged it at the end of the game. But, I mean, Russ is definitely the number 1 QB right now.
And I actually got an alert on my phone yesterday. Did Tom Brady throw 5 touchdowns yesterday?
Yeah, he did. He did. He went off. I mean, they were down. They didn't have Chris Godwin on the field.
Who they played,
Achilles. They played the Chargers.
Okay.
They were down for most of the game, and then Brady just turned it on, man. He just turned it on, and he went for almost 400 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Are they 3-1?
Got it.
Are they 3-1? Tampa?
I think so. Yeah.
And I got to ask this one question: Did he throw any touchdowns to Gronkowski yet?
No. Gronk doesn't have a touchdown yet. I don't think. No.
All right. So number 7's Wilson. Number 8 is another quarterback.
Josh Allen?
Yep, Josh Allen.
Yeah, Josh Allen's right up there with Russ. Malpal said that he's got Josh Allen as the MVP. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. If that's
is he
your
Buffalo
opinion right now?
Is he Buffalo? Yeah. Josh Allen's Buffalo.
Yeah, the guy's doing it all. He took a huge leap this year. Going from last year to this year has been huge. He looks great though.
So I want to ask you a question because I know Josh Allen's the only Buffalo Bill on this list at 4-0. I don't think Brandon Negrones is in the chat room today. He's a big Bills guy, so I'm going to ask this question.
Yeah, BC was here before.
Oh, was he? Who's the most, from a fantasy value standpoint, after Josh Allen? Who's having a great year? Who else?
A quarterback? From the Bills.
A wideout, a running back. What other Buffalo Bill has some big value this year?
Yeah, Stephon Diggs, the wide receiver that they traded for from the Vikings.
Got it.
He's been then Josh Allen's number 1. He's been great. He's really been very good for them. A huge pickup for them.
Who's their running back, Paulie?
They got Devin Singletary. He was a rookie last year, and they also have a rookie this year called named Zach Moss. They're pretty good, but Singletary's been pretty good this year. Josh Allen runs a lot though, so it's not just Singletary getting all the carries.
Okay. All right. And number 9 was what did
I tell you, Clyde?
No, Ridley.
Oh yes, Ridley would probably be the second receiver right now that you would draft in a redraft. He was actually a little banged up this week, but he's been playing every game and he's gone over 100 yards in almost every game, 2 touchdowns in like 2 or 3 games already each. He's been ridiculous, especially filling in for Julio. He's been awesome. So he would probably be a first rounder at this point. And then we would cap it off with Clyde Edwards, who's Clyde Edwards-Helaire, running back for the Chiefs, who's playing right now. Kind of a slow-paced game right now. It's a 6-3 game. They got some time left in the second quarter, but Clyde's been pretty good. He's been pretty good for KC so far. So I would probably still take him in the top 10 because running backs are so valuable, and he's part of a great offense, and he's been really good.
All right. And then,
yeah, man.
Yeah, and 10 was your Clyde, you said, right?
Yeah.
That's your boy. Clyde, the rookie.
Man.
All right, guy. Listen, it's 7:58. I know there's a lot of football and baseball on tonight. Happy. Yeah. Paulie, you rallied. It was like, I'll make it equivalent to this season. It was a doubleheader. We were in game 2. It was the bottom of the 7th inning, right? With 2 men on. We were down by 3. And Paulie, you swung. Yeah. You swung hard. You swung hard. The mighty Paulie boy hit a dinger. Not like Casey. Not like the mighty Casey who struck out in Mudville. The mighty Paulie boy hit a dinger on Staten Island.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, listen. Everybody in the room, thank you for being here. Have a great night tonight watching all your football, all your baseball. Shaman, Malpal, Andrea, Brandon, King Hap. Who else, Paulie? Erica was in here. My wife is probably hearing me scream outside here because I'm so loud. I know Lenny was on early on as well. Thank you as always. Paulie, anything else you want to add?
No, that's great. Had a great time. Thank you, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate it. We will see you next Monday. Much love to you all. I'll talk to you later.
Later.